Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Danny Sauter. I'm running for District 3 Supervisor this November in San Francisco, and I'm really happy today to have Joseph Omran of Beau Market. Many of you know Joseph, and for those of you who don't, I'm really excited for you to get to know him and to hear how the grocery is bringing together neighbors in Nob Hill. So Joseph, I would love if you could just start for folks that haven't been into the store, give us a sense of the setting and the history and what it looks like there.
Well, we've been a community market since 1984. My brothers and I took over the business in 1984 after having left a precarious career at Merrill Lynch. Long story short, my brothers slowly went away after so many years being in it, and I stuck around. My son now is the general manager, who's been managing things for me in my retirement, but because of what's been happening, he's kind of called me back into service. So we've been, trying to meet the nutritional needs of the community in this current environment with the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. So it's demanded an incredible amount of effort from everybody. Most importantly, our staff. Yeah. Have had to really work tirelessly, and from my position of being overly concerned about their overall safety, because they're frontliners having to deal with the public. Mm-hmm. So, my primary concern is to keep them as safe as possible, in addition to the customers, because, what we're trying to do is to create an environment that's safe for shoppers to shop and for the employees to work. Yeah.
And the title of this series that we're doing is called A Day in the District. I wonder what does a day look like for you right now? Is there any routine to any of it yet?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to my son last night because he and I were self-isolating at this time. My wife is at high risk. My younger son has bad asthma, so they're living at my house, and my son and I are living at my other son's flat because his wife is pregnant. So we've gotten to know each other a lot. Maybe more so than he wants, but that's been a challenge in itself. But a day in a life, it's been kind of everything is starting to have a routine to it. Everybody kind of knows what their roles are. Mm-hmm. We're all kind of self-monitoring one another. We employ, now we just got an infrared thermometer, so we're checking everybody's temperature when they get to work. We've got, I just ordered a bunch of coveralls for everybody so that they can have their own, apparel when they're on the job and leave it at the job. Mm. And then when they go home for their days off, they can wash them and bring them back so that they don't, soil their clothes. Yeah. And take them home. That was a primary concern for us. But, they're all wearing their face masks. I mean, I've bought way too much stuff. I'm spending too much stuff in the middle of the night, searching the web for masks, gloves. I was fortunate enough that in my early search for volunteers to help us navigate this process that we found ourselves in, helping to deliver to seniors and shut-ins and door monitors. Someone reached out to me and said, hey, we got this guy just made all this hand sanitizer. Do you want to, you interested? So long story short, I bought $10,000 worth of hand sanitizer. Wow. Yeah, 600 bottles. We still have them. We're limit everybody to one bottle per customer. And I bought a 55-gallon drum because the guy was leaving town and I needed to buy gallons because we need to continue to have hand sanitizer, mm-hmm. not only for the staff, but customers are required to wear, face masks now and some kind of face covering and hand sanitize before they step in the store.
Yeah. So you have sanitizer in stock right now. Is that?
We do. Yeah.
I know we've been hearing about some of the things flying off the shelf, like the soap, the toilet paper. What, I mean, what else are you struggling to keep in stock? What's maybe an unexpected item?
Well, interestingly, the industry in the last 15 years have gotten into the efficiency model of just-in-time processing and ordering. So there's no warehouse stocks full of a lot of essentials. So of course, when all of this started and everybody started doing panic buying, there was no inventory to go pull out of a warehouse somewhere to fill the shelves again. So they're starting to come back online. I'm still having major challenges with paper products, paper towels, toilet paper, Kleenex. It's easier to go to Target and buy those kinds of things than it is for us to be able to get them on a regular basis. I mean, we're lucky if we get a case a week of, and it won't even last. The one day we did get enough, it was gone within 3 hours.
Wow.
And it was one per customer. So those items were limiting. But a lot of the other, the other dry goods, canned goods, have been coming in pretty steadily. Now, the dairy products have been fine. We've been having plenty of milk and eggs, cheese, not a big deal. But the dry goods, really, it's all been about paper products and everybody being concerned about running out of that stuff.
What about the flour? Because we're all amateur bakers now.
Everybody's a baker now. I've gotten so many calls about dry yeast. Everybody wants yeast. Again, another challenging area. We have, because we do bulk buying. We had a bulk section, and now we've been packing bulk items like all of our rice. We got no problem with rice and nuts and things like that. Now we're starting to pack wheat flour and regular flour in bags just because people want it. We can't get them because they're not packing them that way. But on the food service side, there's plenty of it. So that seems to be the best way to be able to get that these days.
Yeah. And you've been making a lot of accommodations for seniors. What does that look like right now if you're a senior and you want to shop?
There's a lot of seniors in the neighborhood that we've been, serving for all these years. We now do 9 to 10 a.m. senior only shopping time. And we try to encourage them not to come to the store because we know that they're at the highest risk. So we started a delivery service. When they do come in, we give them our slip of paper, the Beau Market delivery @gmail.com. Just send this in. Your order comes in before 1 o'clock. Chances are you'll get the delivery same day.
Mm-hmm.
And if it comes in after 1 o'clock, you'll probably get it next day.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit of a challenge because a lot of them don't do email and they want to call. We just can't field phone calls right now. It's just proving to be too challenging to do that.
And what's the email they should use?
Beau Market delivery @gmail.com.
Okay, good. And you've also been asking and pulling in volunteers to help with the line management and just some of the management. How's the community stepped up there?
It's been great. I mean, they really, it makes me proud to be serving a community like that because, the names that were flying on the list for door monitoring, whether it's an hour or 2 hours, some people are there for 3 hours, and delivery people to come in the afternoon and take these deliveries to the seniors that, are in our community there has been great. I mean, we recently hired a couple people to help alleviate two of the people in the volunteer group actually manage the volunteers for me. One person, his name is Richard Manso. He's up at the Comstock. He handles all the volunteers for door monitoring. So I forward him all the new names on the list. He reaches out to him. He does all the scheduling. He sends me the schedule of who's coming at what time. And I mean, that's been great. And then there's Polly Rose, a fellow Dolphin Club member of mine, who has been handling the deliveries. I just forward the emails once I confirm with the customer that we got their order. And then she reaches out to her delivery volunteers and lets them know, okay, we have 7 deliveries going today or 10 deliveries. And, at 3:00, these guys, people show up with their hats on, their masks on. Okay, what's the address? Give me the bags. And that's been really great. I mean, it's just been nice to see that kind of community connection, and people are actually looking at each other eye to eye these days. They're putting their toys away and their phones in their pocket, and they're starting to talk, which has been really good.
Yeah. Well, Richard's on this call, and knowing Richard, that doesn't surprise me at all that he's stepping up, and that's bizarre.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yes. Well, what about the hours? I mean, if someone is looking to maybe go to the store when there's a slower line, a shorter line, does that exist? Is there a number of hours you're encouraging people to shop?
Outside of the senior hour, it's kind of, come as you go, as you can. When I drive by the big markets, they're a couple of hours waiting, and I can honestly say that no one's had to wait more than half an hour to get into LeBeau at the busiest time, which is great. I mean, we've had to manage, because the door monitors are required to allow 10 people into the store at any one time. And that means that there's a constant flow of people coming through, but they're not crawling all over each other. Now, we don't have a big footprint. And I've gotten some people to express their concerns because we can't manage our deliveries. The deliveries come when we're open. And so they're, because our orders have gotten so much bigger, some of the aisles have been clogged up and people kind of get jammed up on those aisles, which is one of the reasons why we decided that everybody has to wear a mask and or a face covering when they come in, because we do have bottlenecks just by the sheer size that we're dealing with, that we're just not big enough to accommodate deliveries that we can't control, and people walking through those aisles at the same time.
Yeah. And what has this felt like for your staff? And have you been able to keep most of them on? Are you hiring more staff right now?
Everybody, everybody has really stepped up beyond. I mean, I'm not surprised because these guys are really great. I mean, they've been, if there's any one thing besides the community that we serve that has kept me wanting to do this, it's been the staff that we've been able to attract over the years.
Yeah.
And the group that we've got now, the team that's on, they've been wonderful about it. We've kept them informed. We've tried to do everything possible to keep them as safe as possible, and letting them know that their safety is our priority, because, my measurement of our success in this process is if we get to the end line and social distancing comes to an end and none of us have gotten sick, then I think that's my measurement of succeeding on this process. So keeping them safe by employing whatever, we put face shields up, within the first week after social distancing even started. And we've been providing them with, clothing that they wear when they're on the job. We had temporary ones that we had, now they were getting torn up. So I just got everybody some coveralls, and they have to wear those when they're on the job, along with the face masks and hand sanitizer everywhere. We put into place all the protocols that the CDC and the, San Francisco Department of Health has told us as an essential business we're required to do.
Yeah.
I think we've done it even more than that, but.
I think so. And that's what strikes me, is that some of the things that you've done, it seems like they're a few weeks ahead of what others are doing. And I wonder, between the masks and between some of the lines and the management, I mean, do you think that some of that should be required rather than recommended for stores?
Well, I know that the masks are not being required at this time. I think Sonoma is initiating some kind of a mask requirement if you go outside. Frankly, I think it's for the safety of everybody, my staff and the customers, because we are, we're not a big market. We're not a Trader Joe's size, nothing like that. So in order for us to continue to do what we're doing, we need to do it in the safest way possible that we think we need to do. So, we posted signs, I put it on next door Nob Hill that, starting 2 days ago, we were going to initiate, anybody coming in had to have a face covering of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's some people have gotten a little bothered by it, but, frankly, if you got to ruffle a couple of feathers to keep the flock safe, then that's what you got to do.
Yeah. And are you doing gloves too? Because I've seen, I know.
Gloves, we initially started out wearing gloves, but then the Department of Health came out with, I guess it was a document on the 31st, because everything's evolving. Everybody's finding out more stuff as they've been going. And they've said that gloves actually can be more of a source of passing the virus along, because you think you're safe, but you don't know that you've got, because you'll wear the gloves all day long, not knowing that they've been contaminated. So they're required, it's just about washing your hands. So our protocol is every 30 minutes, every cashier has to wipe down the counters with diluted Clorox, simple green, go wash your hands, and then come back. So we'd rather have them knowing that their hands are clean. Plus, they've gotten used to the masks, so they're not touching them as much. I mean, every time I see somebody touching their mask, go wash your hands.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, maybe I'm being overly cautious, but I'd rather be overly cautious than not doing what I think I need to do to keep these guys safe.
And you've got the sanitizer for sale, the soap for sale. Do you have any masks for sale, or do you not have enough stock of it?
No, I mean, I'm waiting on some mask deliveries. We do, with all of the people, all the volunteers who've been coming in to do deliveries, we require that we give them a mask if they don't have it. We give them gloves to carry the bags to the accounts. We tell them, all you can do is take it to the front door of the lobby. There's, can't go in anybody's units or anything like that. You just bring it to them, and that's it. That's your endpoint on the deliveries. But yeah, I mean, whatever we can do to keep them safe as well, because they're volunteering. And actually, we're going to start a rewards program for the volunteers. 5% discount. I'm having one of our team members make some cards for the volunteers who have helped out, and they'll get a discount at shopping at LeBeau.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
A lot of people know about the grocery end of the market, but you also have prepared meals and hot meals. Are people finding out about those, or more people ordering those? Everybody
is opening up all their cookbooks at home.
Yeah.
I mean, our meat sales have been through the roof. Our produce sales have been crazy. And so I just think everybody, whereas, everybody was at work, they were too busy, they're coming in, they're buying their hamburgers or sandwiches, their meals to go, because we have a meal to go every night, of the dinners and all that jazz. They've been making food at home, and what we've done to help the staff is in the process of reaching out to the community for volunteers. I was contacted by Zach Rinaldi from SPQR, who's a chef, who's of course not working, and hired him on. So he comes in 3 days a week and makes lunch for everybody. I want to make sure that they eat well. I don't want to see them eating a bag of chips and a soda. So yeah, he's been making lunch for everybody. And then I've got Denise St. Ange from Greens coming in on Tuesdays and Thursdays doing the vegetarian options.
Wow.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, she used to work in the deli for us a couple of years back, and she lives just they live right in the neighborhood. So my key, I mean, after the first week and a half of nothing but Za's Pizza, I thought, you know what, I better do something better for these guys if they're going to turn into pizzas on me or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure everyone appreciates that.
Yeah.
Well, and you've made some changes to hours and to Sundays. What does that look like?
Well, we chopped off an hour of operation because we were 9 to 9, 7 days a week. And we went to 9 to 8 early on before the city decided that they wanted all businesses to close at 8 o'clock. And then, the demands on the staff was so great. And it was hard to get. The managers were doing 6 days a week. They were doing 70 hours. And it was too much. It was burnout. If they continued to operate at that level, it was going to be a burnout. So we collectively decided, after my son and I talked about, Easter was coming and we thought, well, we'll close for Easter. And then he said, you know what, maybe we should think about closing on Sundays. So we came to the decision that during social distancing, that we're going to close on Sundays just to give everybody a break.
Yeah.
A much needed break.
Yeah. And we have some comments here. Judy's reminding everyone that tonight is fried chicken and mashed potatoes. So I think we all know what's for dinner tonight. And Allison is saying, thank you for doing this. I'm staying with family in Pack Heights and miss LeBeau a lot. And Joseph, anything else you think people should know, or maybe before they set out to the grocery store, any tips for them?
Well, leave your bag at home, because we again, that was another policy that the city came down with. That they did not want any bags to come even to come in the store. So we got a lot of gripes about that. Of course, we led the nation on getting rid of bags and requiring that you brought your own bag. So we hope that people understand. We're not trying to make life hard for them. We're just trying to keep everybody safe. Right now, that's all we want, to get out of this on the other side and be able to know that everybody made it okay and nobody got sick.
Yeah, of course. Well, Joseph, I really appreciate you spending some time with us, updating the community. I know it's incredibly busy and overwhelming right now. I think your market has been a community staple for decades, and this is only underscoring that. The first time that you and I met, we sat outside, and over 45 minutes, literally every single person who walked by, you knew their name and you greeted them as they walked into the store. So I think that just speaks to the community and what you have there on Nob Hill. And so I am so appreciative. I know everyone here is so appreciative of that and the work that you do and the staff to keep everyone stable in this difficult moment. And we really appreciate that.
Well, it's been great. Like I said, as a native son of the city, I feel honored to have been able to raise my family here, and they all still live here, and that we're all still part of the, what I look at is what's made San Francisco such an incredible place to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for everyone else, thank you for joining us today. And we're also going to be right back here at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., we're talking to Kevin of St. Frank, just down the road on Polk, and we're going to hear how they're adjusting the cafe and how their team's doing. So hopefully you'll be back with us for that. That's at 3 p.m. We'll stream it live on Facebook as well. And also you can see that event and future events at DannyD3.com. But otherwise, Joseph, again, thank you very much. And for everyone joining us. And again, where to grab dinner tonight.
All right, great. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Stay well.